When Masahiro Sakurai made Super Smash Bros., a story wasn't part of his priorities. His goal was to make a generic-looking platform fighting game more interesting by making the characters well-known Nintendo IPs. His focus had always been on the gameplay and making something that anyone could pick up and play without being immediately overwhelmed. What little the intro does show us implies it's nothing more glorious than someone smacking dolls together. It wasn't until Brawl that he thought of doing an adventure mode to show the now large cast of the series, and even that skips over the how and why everyone is there, which is the most interesting part to me. Same with the story in Ultimate, so I've decided to do it myself. Seriously trying to interwove each series' lore into a single series becomes more difficult as each one adds new series and it's gotten to the point of being impossible to do by yourself. I doubt there's very many people who have played every game of every series that each character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate originates from. I myself have always loved crossovers, and trying to come up with my own story has been a hobby of mine since I was a kid. It wasn't until recently that I had an idea that I actually thought was worth sharing. Mortal Kombat is a series I didn't get into until close to adulthood, but one of the most interesting parts of it to me were the endings you could get for each character in ladder mode. A different what-if for each character that didn't require their entire backstory to enjoy. It then occurred to me that Classic Mode in Super Smash Bros. Could be used similarly. Sure enough, I was able to come up with a basic story and an ending for each of the 12 characters despite my limited knowledge on a few. The story's simple enough. The Master Hand has taken each of the characters from their respective worlds in order to fight one another. The winner will earn the right to challenge Master Hand, provided they could fight through the pale limitations of all the fighters present that are guarding him. The fighters do not have a choice as they can only go home if one of them beats Master Hand and uses his power to release them. While each of them upon winning does let everyone go home, it isn't the only thing they use it for. With that out of the way, we can get into the endings themselves. See if you can tell which one is the canonical one before I reveal it at the end of the video.
Mario!
Battling the other fighters was no easy task, but neither was dealing with Bowser. As Master Hand's power entered him, he pondered on what to do with it. He had few issues with his life with the princess, except for Bowser. The monstrous turtle kept coming back, and it seemed like nothing could put him down permanently. But now he had a solution. Using the power he'd won, Mario sealed Bowser away into a brick block which could never be broken. Since then, the Mushroom Kingdom has seen an unprecedented time of peace and happiness. However, unknown to Mario, Bowser has an offspring who is plotting revenge in the shadows.
Yoshi!
Yoshi had only joined the fight to help Mario. He certainly didn't expect to be the one to defeat Master Hand. Yoshi was a simple dinosaur and wanted to use his new power to help the rest of his kind. His return to Yoshi Island was signaled by the appearance of a large tree, as tall as the mountains. This tree would never stop dropping fruit for the Yoshis. This vast upgrade to their super happy tree allowed the Yoshis to live happily ever after.
Donkey Kong!
Donkey Kong wasn't surprised that he was the strongest. It had always been true, and now that he had the weird Magic Hand's power, he would finally be free of the problem that kept plaguing him: banana thievery. His banana horde on Donkey Kong Island grew ginormous. And no matter how many he took, he and his fellow Kongs would never run out. He also put a curse on the horde. Anyone who wasn't a Kong that tried to steal them would be left twitching on the ground in agony. Cranky was initially concerned that this power would corrupt his son, but realized that since his bananas were no longer in danger, Donkey Kong was too lazy to do anything else with it.
Link!
Link was relieved that he emerged victorious. He hadn't yet defeated Ganon before he was pulled from his world. With this new power from Master Han, Ganon fell easily. With the future secured, he had no desire to keep this new power, so before Zelda sent him back to his childhood, he transformed it back into a physical form, a fourth Triforce piece. Once sent back, Zelda did as she promised and hid this new Triforce piece away. Its location would be kept secret to only herself and passed down to each Princess Zelda after her. Unfortunately, Ganon never stays sealed forever, so only time will tell if Link's decision doomed this world.
Samus!
For Samus, Master Han was just another overpowered bastard put down. Being able to take his power was something new, however. Once she realized the scale of this power, she felt conflicted. She considered bringing back her parents, but her memories of them felt so distant she wasn't sure she'd be able to connect to them as parents, especially as she is now with her chosen career. She would consider it at a later date. There was one other use for the power she had much less issue doing. The alien that murdered her parents wasn't staying dead, so her sole use of the power was erasing Ridley from existence, soul and all.
Kirby!
A big floating hand was nothing new for Kirby, and neither was defeating him. Kirby inhaled Master Hand's power and felt something change. He had always been hungry, but this hunger growing in him was overwhelming. He started inhaling as hard as he could, desperate to ingest anything that could stop this hunger. Kirby was unaware of how much time had passed as he inhaled, but eventually the hunger ceased. When he looked at his surroundings again, he saw nothing. Nothing else existed anymore but him.
Fox!
Once he became aware that his kidnapper's power could be taken, Fox knew exactly what he wanted to use it for. He had been taken after he had defeated Andross. The Lylat system was safe. He could be selfish just this once. After his hard-won victory, he went back to his universe to Corneria. There, in a private room, he used his new power exactly once, and shed tears for the first time in years as he was held in the arms of his father, James McLeod.
Pikachu!
It had been some time since Pikachu had fought on his own, but he wasn't helpless. He had been on his own for most of his life until he finally found a human he liked. As Pikachu defeated Master Hand, he was filled with the power of his defeated foe, and he knew he wanted to use it to help the trainer that had shown him such kindness. Using the entirety of the power, he made a wish that his trainer would never truly leave him. He returned to his world and continued his journey with Ash. Throughout their travels, any time Ash perished, he would be brought back soon after. No one seemed to notice that the boy never aged.
Luigi!
Luigi reveled in his victory. It was he, not Mario, who had won. It had always been about Mario back home. Adventures always seemed to happen where he alone was in position to be the hero. Luigi was always number 2 to everyone. Well, not anymore. The next adventure happened on Princess Peach's vacation on Isle Delfino, as Bowser returned with his son. Fortunately, the princess had brought the sole hero of the Mushroom Kingdom with her on this vacation, and Luigi was happy to help.
Jigglypuff!
Jigglypuff was mad. Every opponent she had come up against had fallen asleep. Only the big hand stayed awake, and he just ignored her. After slapping him into oblivion, she used her new power to grant her heart's desire. Back in her own world, a stadium appeared filled with millions of people. Jigglypuff sung her heart out, and when she opened her eyes, she was met with applause from an audience that was wide awake. The world soon collapsed as everyone went mad for being unable to sleep.
Captain Falcon!
Captain Falcon enjoyed the combat that came with being a bounty hunter, but he enjoyed racing even more. After his victory over his kidnapper, he used the power he absorbed to create a race unlike any other. Spanning the Earth itself, the race was filled with the fastest people in the multiverse. As the countdown started, he gave a good luck salute to his closest competitor, a blue hedgehog participating without a car.
Ness!
Ness's victory over Master Hand was harrowing, but was worth it, as his new power filled him. He was thankful this whole thing happened, as this power would allow he and his friends to come back alive after beating Gygus, something they assumed was a one-way trip. He used this new power to defeat Gygus for good and return his friends home. He only used it once more to locate Pokey so he could face justice. Sometime in the future, a blonde boy named Lucas and his brother Klaus enjoy a world free from strife.
And that is all 12 endings. If I got any lore wrong, or you have your own ideas for endings, feel free to put them in the comments down below, and do subscribe if you like this video. If you haven't decided on which ending you think I have as the canonical one, feel free to pause the video until you're ready. Ready? Okay then, Pikachu is the canonical winner. I do hope to do Melee at some point, but I'm not sure about the others. Like I said at the beginning, the later games just have too many different series I haven't played for me to really do those on my own. I think that's everything, so I'll leave you with a riddle. I'm a group of 52 that fit in your hand. What am I?